Hello, in this video I will talk about, Fnaf Fangames that have been cancelled. Games that were supposed to be made but weren't. I will talk a little about the game and what it would have looked like. There are a lot of these games, so I will only cover the most interesting games and games we know a lot about. Keep in mind that for my info I will use like fandom wiki pages, game jolt pages, and Reddit threads. So the info may not be 100% accurate, and if you wanna see more, I'm gonna consider making a part 2 to this video, so like and subscribe and let's start. The first FNAF game we're gonna talk about is Pop Goes 2. Now I know that there are multiple cancelled Pop Goes games, but hey, this video is not cancelled Pop Goes games. I don't wanna give this weasel all the spotlight. Here is a list of the people that worked on the game. The game was announced in 2016, on Halloween. Quite fitting if you ask me. Here are some teaser images that were released for the game. If you ask me, it honestly doesn't look bad. It's easy to see a clear improvement in the teasers compared to the first Pop Goes. The teasers showcase the epitome animatronics, nightmarish versions of the main Pop Goes cast. These are creepy. All they kind of remind me of the xenomorphs from the Alien movies, but they seem to be inspired from real skeletons. That's terrifying, and I'm now regretting seeing these things. And it is honestly a cool idea that I don't recall being done before this. And to be honest, I like these models even if they look, well, like creepy monsters rather than actual animatronics. But that's not all. The game was also going to have the Heartless animatronics. These are broken versions of the originals, and by broken I mean like completely destroyed. The Wizards have nothing on these guys. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, but I don't know the lore. That goes for all of these fan games. Even a chunk of FNAF itself, I don't know. So I'm gonna try to refrain from talking about it, so I don't get anything wrong. And if I do, tell me. I have no idea what the hell is happening here. There are also some sprites we have here. Oh, and entirely new characters. Now that I think about it, a ton of work was done for this game. It really is a shame that it got cancelled. At least we have Evergreen coming soon. And yeah, that game looks wow. However, let's get to the real meat and potatoes, or pizza and butters. Cut that joke out, that's not funny. That being the game itself. The game jolt description said, not long after the events of Pop Goes grave ending, the Pop Goes pizzeria has already been inherited by a brand new owner after the unfortunate passing of Mr. Fritz Glade. The new keeper of the building has some interesting ideas and ideologies that may substantially change how Pop Goes the Weasel is seen by the outside world. We have a description of the gameplay. You would be in Fritz's office, in the same building as where the first Pop Goes takes place. You'd have a staircase to a warehouse on your left, where the epitomes are, and to your right a door that leads to the pizzeria, which is where the Heartless animatronics are, or at least what's left of them. You had 3 monitors, one for the epitomes and one for the Heartlesses. In the middle, there's one for the cameras of the pizzeria. You'd use the cameras to scan these guys for data. 5 bars, one for each of the Heartless animatronics. They fill up when you stare at the Heartless animatronics. This data is important because you can use it on lures for the epitome animatronics or spend it to stop the reprinting process in the Heartless monitor, which I assume is these guys trying to use their 3D printers to print themselves back together to kill you. Just like how Pop Goes was trying to print Black Rabbit in the first game. If you do not lure the epitomes when they were approaching you, they would come into your office and kill you. If you fail to reject the reprinting of a Heartless animatronic, they would come and kill you. If you ask me, this is a really cool idea. Of course, we don't have the full details of the gameplay, but I like the fact that you have to manage your attention between the Heartless animatronics, and deciding whether to prioritize stopping the epitomes or the Heartlesses. I feel like it would give the game a lot of strategy. It's really a shame we will never see it, or will we? It's not released yet, but there is an unofficial version of Pop Goes 2 being made. Here it is. I'm pretty excited for it. It looks good. Show the creator some love. Link to the game jolt page in the description. So, the game was being developed, but well, you clicked on the video, you know it's cancelled. Why? Well, one of the reasons is that a modeler which was working on the game left the team during development, and they refused to share the completed work they had done. Another reason was that developing the game stopped being fun. It felt more like an obligation, something they had to do instead of something they wanted to do. Kane Carter also admits that he thinks he made the game too big. It's sad that this fan game was cancelled, but hey, it's not all doom and gloom, we're still gonna get another Pop Goes game. Also, one quick fun fact, Kellen Goff, The voice actor of Funtime Freddy, Sun, Moon, and other FNAF characters was supposed to voice a character in Pop Goes 2. The next fan game we will talk about is much more recent, and one with a lot of promise. I'm talking about Fazbear Tycoon. Around 2019, the game was announced, and we have a ton of details and images that showcase what the game would have been. Once again, a small disclaimer, I'm bad at doing research. Most of my videos are like opinion based, so really sorry if I get anything wrong. Here is a list of the people that worked on the game. In this game, you, the player, are the owner of a new Freddy's location. I mean, isn't that obvious? The game is called Fazbear Tycoon. You would have been able to add animatronics, attractions, menu items, and more to your pizzeria. You would have been able to manage employees, items, and other stuff. Man, I wonder if the game had a minigame where you had to do taxes. Someone should make that 5 Tax at Freddy's, where you and Freddy Fazbear do taxes while you defend yourself from the IRS. Let's get back on track. Not only would you have this in-depth, well, Tycoon mode, you would also have the classic sit and survive gameplay FNAF is known for. What's interesting here is that the animatronics you bought would be the ones who would go after you. If this existed in real life, Disney would be fucked. Also, the game would have had a custom night mode where you customize the night. Yep, some amazing insight from the GameSpeaking YouTube channel here. Here is a unfinished example of what it could have looked like. The main Tycoon part of the game had the shop. I mean, where else would you pay for all the stuff to put in your restaurant? People don't really enjoy eating in empty buildings after all, and wow, this looks really nice. The game also takes some inspiration from the salvage minigames in Pizzeria Simulator and the YouTube series The Interviewed by J. Gems. I hope I'm saying that right. You'd have to interview animatronics before bringing them into your pizzeria. The player would be given various dialogue options and the animatronic would respond. What's interesting here is that it could have been used to showcase some lore, like by having animatronics tell you the deep dark secrets of Fazbear Entertainment. This is a really cool idea, but it's also very creepy. Thankfully, there's some glass protecting you from Freddy here. There are also lawsuits, everyone's favorite. They are really similar to how they worked in Pizzeria Simulator, so not a lot to go over here. You know, just some Karen complaining that some animatronic bit her daughter in half. Whatever. You also had stats for your establishment, also not a lot to go over here because this is also similar to Pizzeria Sim. However, now let us talk about the night sequences. Meanwhile I'm talking about this, I'm gonna showcase some amazing looking models and teasers we got. And trust me, a lot of these are absolutely fantastic. Of course, you got your security system, your camera so you can look around the building. You have various buttons like the camera map button which shows you the layout of the pizzeria, and the switch button which changes floors. Of course, the camera system is used to monitor the animatronics. Some mechanics that cameras have are clicking on Music Man a bunch to slow his drum beating down, which calms him, and flipping the cameras up to make Golden Freddy go away. Along with the cameras to defend yourself, you got a flashlight to light things up. It is really useful for when your power runs out, and yes, you have power. If you flash Balloon Boy for example, he will leave. Flashing Plush Drop repeatedly also stops his movement. I mentioned the power meter. Yeah, it's important. You can shut your power off, but without it you cannot use your cameras. You can recharge your power, however. As you may have guessed, letting the power run out is bad. Unfortunately, that's about it for the information about gameplay I could find. There are more mechanics, but we don't know a lot about them, such as connection, shocker, and alarm. The game had a lot of characters planned, even some from other fan games. Speaking of, the game even had a small collab with Grizzlies. I'm not gonna show all of the characters because there are just way too many. We have a lot of teasers of these different animatronics, and a lot of them are redesigned in a fun and unique way. Look at this version of Music Man. It's very different, but I am a fan. There were even book characters planned, such as Fetch and the Plush Drop Chaser from the Fazbear Frights books. I'm gonna have to be honest, these models are stunning. It really is a shame that this fan game got cancelled because a lot of work went into it and it really shows. Unfortunately, this game got cancelled. But why? Well, one of the people that started the development of the game left the project. Also, there has been an issue with the design of the game. There has not been a design document for the game for a long time, which is crucial for, making a game. The game was also supposed to be really big. which was a lot of weight on everyone's shoulders. And yeah, this game is absolutely massive. In addition to this, the game had to switch engines from Click Team Fusion to GameMaker. These problems made the development of the game very difficult until eventually it got cancelled. There was a small demo release and I recommend you check it out. Link to the Game Jolt page in the description. Farewell, Fazbear Tycoon. So, those were 2 cancelled Fnaf Fangames. Only 2? Yeah, if you wanna see a part 2, I'd be more than happy to make one. I planned on covering more, but these 2 had a lot of meat on their bones and I wanted to go in depth into them. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. This was GameSpeaking and goodbye.